We are revisiting rate of change and slope, and I say revisiting because this is a subject that we take up in Algebra 1. It's also a process that we use in geometry, and here we are in Algebra 2, and we're reviewing this concept of rate of change and slope. And let's see. Let's start with this, I guess. We have a slope formula. And that slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that equals the slope, which we designate by the lowercase letter m. M, slope, equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, in a linear function by its definition is going to give us a constant rate of change or a constant slope. And we see from this graph right here that we have a straight line that represents the function of, in this case, the number of gallons of water being put into a swimming pool. So let's tackle the problem itself. It says the graph at the right shows the number of gallons of water in a swimming pool as it is being filled. What is the rate, at what rate is the pool being filled? And for just a moment, let's take a look at what this graph shows us. So the y-axis has to do with gallons of water, and the x-axis is defined as time in minutes. Now I can also see here that I've got a couple of coordinates or ordered pair identified. Now, one thing about finding slope, you need to be consistent as how you designate your ordered pairs as the number ones and the number twos. The method that I use and the method that I encourage you to use is just read left to right. So I'm coming here from left to right, and the first one I see is this 3,108, 3,108, and I say, you know what? That's number one. And then up here in the top right, I see the coordinate 7,252, and I say, you know what, that's number 2. So now that I have designated those number 1s and number 2s, so I've got an x1 and y1 and an x2 and a y2. Now I'm just going to substitute those numbers into my slope formula. So let's see, y2. Well, I would say y2 is 252, not 253, 252. And we're going to subtract from that y1, which is 108. And then we're going to be dividing the difference of those two numbers by x2, which is 7, minus x1, which is 3. So let's see, 252 minus 108, that's 144. If you don't believe me, check it on a calculator. And 7 minus 3 is 4. And now we're going to divide 144 by 4. And let's see, 4 will go into 14 3 times with a remainder of 2. That gives us 24, and 4 into 24 is 4 going to 24 6 times. And so our constant rate of change is 6 gallons per minute. 6 gallons per minute. So this swimming pool is being filled at a constant rate of change of 36 gallons. Let me rewrite that right there. 36 gallons per minute. Now, I don't know how big the swimming pool is, but at some point, the swimming pool is going to be full. And unless you want a big water bill, and you do pay for water, by the way, you want it to stop at that point. So it's a good idea to know how fast the water in the swimming pool is going to be filled because you need to know when you better come back, turn the water off. Shazam.